You know, growing up here in Greenville was an amazing experience for me because I was in a band even as a small child. My family was kind of like the Partridge Family, but we sang Southern gospel music. And my mother used to make all of our matching outfits because that was the thing with the big collars and all that. I never will forget going to TG&Y, and they had a big area back there with all the fabric and all that kind of stuff like that. And I was always so hyper as a kid. You know, my mom's in there, she's got all her patterns, she's trying to figure out stuff, and all I could hear was Ricky Dean, Ricky Dean, Ricky Dean, Ricky Dean. Settle down, settle down, settle down. And I'd be running all around in there and stuff like that, and she'd be getting her fabric and everything, and she'd go home and she'd sew and make all of our matching outfits. I remember some of them were purple, some of them were kind of a burnt orange, but she always had us put together as a musical family group. And I remember my dad always being so willing to play anywhere that we could, that maybe we could, you know, be a blessing to people. My mother was an amazing vocalist. She was truly what you would get if you crossed Etta James and Patsy Cline. That was my mother, truly. And I mean, we sang at every nursing home in Greenville, I don't know how many times. And I would always leave there with the reddish cheeks, because I remember all the sweet, sweet little old ladies would come up and say, "Aren't you just adorable?" like this. All the while they're slipping me $1 $5 bills, and I'm just pocketing them down, you know. Because, you know, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, you just thought you was being tortured, you know. But they were so sweet. Played every one of those. And of course, so many churches around, and the fair a bunch of times. It really was awesome. Didn't really realize it at the time, but it was awesome. And I remember later in life going back, and one time was funny. Later in life I'd grown my hair out because as I got older, I wanted to play rock music and stuff. And even though I still have my gospel roots, and I enjoy playing that a lot. Not ashamed of it. I went and I was playing the piano, and all of a sudden I remember feeling my hair getting pulled back like this, and I turned around. There was this little old gal about this tall, had a big old pair of orange handled scissors. Okay, now you know you don't mess with them orange handled scissors. She finished trim me up. Boy, I come to my feet real quick, like, ma'am, ma'am, ma'am. And she was just looking at me like, I'm just trying to save your life, young man. Your hair's long. Oh, my. I'll tell you another kind of iconic figure I ran into doing that was a man who owned the old Mule Barn downtown. I don't know if you guys remember that. His name was Al Sasser, and he was an icon in this community for a long time when it came to dealing with horses and mules and stuff like that. Over kind of behind Johnny Bowen's old station, behind Crawford Smith, back in there. And I remember going down there as a kid, riding the gates as they'd swing open, and I'd help him around there, and he probably gave me $1,000 in quarters to buy a soda pop. And I'd stop by to play the piano for the folks one day, and I happened to see Mr. Al in there. I went up and greeted him and whatnot, and visiting with him. He remembered me. His old mind was sharp. His body was getting tired on him, and I'd take him out to Ryan's. He'd like to go to Ryan's. We'd go out there to the buffet. Mr. Al had more money than he knew what to do with, but I always wore a rope for a belt. Neat old guy. He'd like to go out there and eat and all that kind of stuff. And I remember I brought him back to the house one day. We was playing dominoes, and it'd be his turn. He'd be waiting. And just when I was thinking he was starting to slip, he'd lay that domino down. Go on and give me 25. Great old guy. I had done some traveling, and when I came back, unfortunately, he had passed while I was gone, but I was glad that I got to have that time with him and give back to this local community that's given me so much. It's just really strange how life can take you on different roads, and you always come back right here. I remember back when Cressy's downtown was the store. That was store. There was no Walmart or Kmart. There was if you needed a slice of pie or a pair of shoes, you went to Cressy's. And they had TGMY. Remember those Howards, Gibsons? Remember when they first built Kmart? I guess I was maybe 9, something like that. I went to Crockett Eagles. My mom took me out there and bought me a pair of shoes. Remember them blue ones that had the little white stripes down the side? She gave $8 for them. Made it clear that was my shoes for the year. That you better make them work. Funny now, my daughter probably got 20 pair of shoes and can't find a one of them. Instead of talking about, I need some shoes. I said, what are all these shoes I'm tripping over all over the house? Well, no. I need some more shoes. But I remember it was an exciting day, opening day for Kmart out there. And then when they was going to come in with the mall, y'all remember when they was going to come in with the mall out there? I remember went out there and I was just a kid. And they was giving helicopter rides. Of course, you know, we just broke. We didn't have no money to do anything to be able to ride no helicopter. But I kept going up to them guys at the counter and just asking them over and over and over. I think it was Lotto Reynolds back then out there. And it kept going on and on all day. And I kept asking them, can I please go? Can I please go? And finally the man, he pulled out a card and he signed something on it. He said, okay, you go out there and you hand this to them. And I went out there, and that's when I got my first helicopter ride up over Greenville. I saw Greenville from that way. Because I was persistent. I didn't have money, but I had will. I had determination. I wanted to go up in that helicopter. So that was a big deal when they built the mall. We used to go up there to the arcade, Diamond Gems. I know some of y'all remember that. That was a neat time. But just to look back, when you reflect back in your life, Greenville's always been good to me and my family. And I'm glad now to be able to do whatever I can do. I mean, I'm just a man. I've got to experience some neat things. I've always claimed Greenville as my home. I'm glad to be back home. Even if life takes me here and there, again, Greenville's always going to be my home. And I enjoy seeing the community outreach, and I've been able to do some shows and stuff to help some of the local ministries and outreach programs and stuff like that. And I'm always willing to do what I can in that aspect because we have our own needs right here, right home. And I enjoy that. I enjoy being here from Greenville, Texas, and hopefully we can show you some of these places that I've been talking about sometime.